Shalom everybody. Yahusha's yoke, our armor of light. Belief and obedience. Yahusha is our armor. Mankind's first mistake was to doubt his instructions for living. We accept his yoke, teachings is another name for yoke. That's what yoke means, teachings. When we decide to obey him and submit to being immersed in his name. We don't know much at this point, but we trust he will train us to become a useful vessel and an ambassador of his light. When the armies of Egypt pursued the Israelites, it was a demonic attack. The presence of the name of Yahuwah in the cloudy pillar caused the Egyptians pursuing his people to become like chaff. The name is a strong tower of refuge from all the schemes of the devil. His presence is our armor, clothing us. Yahuwah strives with those who strive with me. Fight against those who fight against me. Take hold of shield and armor and rise for my help. And draw out spear and lance to meet those who pursue me. Say to my life, I am your deliverance. Psalms, chapters 35, verses 1 through 3. The presence of the name of Yahuwah appeared in various forms in the past, such as a burning bush, a cloudy pillar of light, and in human form. Hebrews 1 tells us Yahusha is the exact representation of his substance, a body he prepared for himself. Hebrew chapter 10 verses 5. Little children, let no one lead you astray. The one doing uprightness is upright, even as he is upright. The one doing sin is of the devil, because the devil has sinned from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of Alahim was manifested, to destroy the works of the devil. 1 John chapters 3 verses 7 and 8. It should be abundantly clear the yoke of the devil embodies teachings of disobedience, rebellion against the instructions of Yahuwah. The devil's yoke is a scheme causing us to disobey the Torah. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Torah in Hebrew means instructions. The old path. By this we know that we love the children of Alahim, when we love Alahim and guard his commands. For this is the love of Alahim, that we guard his commands, and his commands are not heavy. 1 John chapters 5 verses 2 and 3. Thus said Yahuwah, stand in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where the good way is, and walk in it, and find rest for yourselves. But they say, we do not walk in it. Yirmiyahu chapter 6 verses 16. What commands? What old paths? See Malachi chapter 4 verses 4 through 6. It tells us it is the Torah of Moshe, who is Moses, given to him at Mount Horeb. The trainer or schoolmaster trained us. Then we practice what we learned. The works of the devil divert us from the Torah of Yahuwah. Taking on the yoke of a servant. Ephesians 6 opens with directions about obeying our parents and fathers teaching children Yahusha's instructions. Servants are to obey their masters, who should also be aware we all serve one master. Obedience to the teachings. The yoke of Yahusha unites us all in a bond of love as precious children which no enemy can stand against. The bond is like armor, because the presence of Yahuwah protects and guides us as members of his family, Yisrael. Those against us become his enemies. Paul describes this armor as clothing and weaponry of warfare. Put on the complete armor of Alahim, for you to have power to stand against the schemes of the devil, because we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against authorities, against the world rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual matters of wickedness in the heavenlies. Because of this, take up the complete armor of Alahim, so that you have power to withstand in the wicked day, and having done all to stand, stand. Then having girded your waist with truth, and having put up the breastplate of righteousness, and having fitted your feet with the preparation of the sword of peace, Above all, having taken up the shield of belief, with which you shall have power to quench all the burning hours of the wicked one. Take also the helmet of deliverance and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Alahim, praying at all times, with all prayer and supplication to the Spirit, in the Spirit, watching in all perseverance and supplication for all the set apart ones. Ephesians chapter 6, verses 11 through 18. YAHUSHA's yoke, the old paths. Jeremiah chapter 6, verses 16. Relates the same idea we see expressed by YAHUSHA. Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I shall give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble in heart, and you shall find rest on your beings. For my yoke is gentle and my burden is light. Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 through 30. Rest is relaxation. And is seen in all of us who have the sign of the everlasting covenant, the Shabbat. The Sabbath literally means rest, and therefore relaxation. The yoke of YAHUSHA is evident in his followers. They relax every seventh day as he, our Creator, rested from his work. As Hebrew 4 also tells us, our first love is mentioned at Revelation chapter 2, and this is our teacher, the Torah. Though Yahuwah gave us bread of adversity and water of affliction, your teacher shall no longer be hidden, but your eyes shall see your teacher, your ears hear a word behind you, saying, this is the way, walk in it, wherever you turn to the right or whenever you turn to the left. Yashayahu, Isaiah chapters 30, verses 21 and 20 and 21. The principalities and powers in the spiritual realm use false messages to deceive billions. They have deceived every nation, tribe, and tongue, guiding them all away from the obeying of the Torah of Yahuwah. Malachi chapter 4, verses 4 through 6 gives us the final warning. So everyone taking this matter seriously should read it, and Psalms 1, chapter 1 carefully. Then read the Ten Commandments as written at Deuteronomy chapters 5. Read them again and again until you hear them in your heart and turn and obey them. YAHUSHA's yoke is not a statement listing our beliefs. Each of us would be shocked if YAHUSHA showed us all our errors and false beliefs. There are plenty of teachers who would love to point out our errors, yet no teachers agree. Often false ideas appear in doctrinal statements that divide us more than unite us. To detect a counterfeit, we have to study the real thing. There are numerous crooked ways, but only one straight, unchangeable path. For example, two Yahuwahs is not a teaching found in Scripture, but became popular through teachers over the last few decades. It is a new form of marachism, Marcionism. Not sure if I said that right. Instead of receiving the teachings of men, we take what YAHUSHA shows us in the Word with a submissive heart, so that he may teach and guide us into all truth. He does this with the goal of love. His yoke is his Torah of kindness, his covenant that teaches us how to love. His yoke produces the fruits of his spirit, or ruach. If someone asks what we believe, we should show them the foundation we stand on, his name and his word. First, we believe Yahuwah is one, and we are able to love him with all our being. Second, we are to love our neighbor. Both of these are goals addressed in the Ten Commandments, and YAHUSHA added clarity for us by ordering us to love one another. Everything that follows after these are details that either bring greater unity or destroy unity. Divided house to unite. To unity. Divided house to unite. YAHUSHA is working through all of us to bring the house of Yehuda and the house of Yisrael together. The process is made more difficult when every teacher has privately hatched ideas about when the new moon arrives, or the first moon, or the year, when a day begins, and so on. As for genealogies, we should follow Brother Paul's advice in Titus chapter 3, verses 9. But keep away from foolish questions and genealogies and strife and quarrels about the Torah, for they are unprofitable and useless. See also 1 Timothy chapters 1, verses 4. Divisions are caused when people teaching us do not see the goal. 1 Timothy chapter 1, verses 5 through 7. Now the goal of this command is love from a clean heart, from a good conscience and a sincere belief, which some have missed the goal, turned aside to senseless talk, wishing to be teachers of Torah, understanding neither what they say nor concerning what they strongly affirm. Statements or beliefs often fail to include love as the goal. Stay on the firm foundation of love, Yahusha's yoke. Which are his teachings that guide us to the destination of love. My people, give ear to my Torah. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I open my mouth in a parable. I utter riddles of old, which we have heard and known, for our fathers have related them to us. We do not hide them from their children, relating to the generation to come the praises of Yahuwah, and his strength and his wonders which he has done. For he has raised a witness in Jacob, and set a Torah in Yisrael, which he commanded our fathers, to teach them to their children, that it might be known to the generation to come, to children who would be born, to rise up and relate them to their children. Psalms chapter 78, verses 1 through 6. Torah yoke, walking in light ultimately. The yoke we take on in the mind of Yahusha, and we are clothed in the armor of light. As he said, we can do nothing without him. So Yahusha said to those Yehudim who believed him, if you stay in my word, you will truly are my taught ones, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Yehukanan, chapters 8, 31 and 32. Yehukanan is John. The living word, the truth, and the life is Yahusha, our armor of light. The Torah is uprightness, guiding us in the pathway to the goal of love. The power of love, when the mightiest army on earth approached the children of Yisrael in the wilderness, love intervened, a fiery pillar of light, in which dwelled the name of Yahuwah, stood between the army and the chosen ones. In the spiritual realm, an army is arrayed against us every second. That same level of protection is being used for us today. We are sealed with his name in our foreheads, and we have pledged to obey our beloved one as a bride obeys a husband. Our commitment to him is based on love, not fear. Our deliverer is the same yesterday, today, and forever. We call him Yahusha. Yah is our deliverer, and he teaches us how to love through his Torah. His yoke is a process of learning how to love. Yahuwah took the form or image of a man in order to restore the relationship of love between himself and those who accept his redemption. We are his Mishkan, looking to the priestly leader and perfecter of our belief, Yahusha, who, for the joy that was set before him, endured the stake, have despised the shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of Alahim. Hebrews chapters 12, verses 2. And he is the head of the body, the assembly, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that he might become the one who is first in all, because in him all the completeness was well pleased to dwell, and through him to completely restore to favor all to himself, whether on earth or in heavens, having made peace through the blood of his stake. Colossians chapter 1, verses 18 through 20. The Torah teaches love for Yahuwah and love for our neighbor. If we miss the goal of love, we will be without empathy for others' pain. Yahuwah's primary character trait is love. Those who know him exhibit his character. Yahusha explained it as being like fruit. The yoke we bear is expressed in our behavior, and we show it in our walk. If we bear malice, jealousy, slander, hatred, pride, anger, arrogance, scorn, and disobedience, then our end will come swiftly and without healing. If our yoke produces love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control, we have the mind of Yahusha. We are his branches of light, like menorahs walking around in a dark world. If we distill down an ultimate distinction between good and evil, or the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, it would be simply love and hate. Knowledge puffs up. Love is humble, serving, and selfless. Teachings we take into our vessel grow in us, and from this treasure we bear fruit and sow seeds. When we are always looking in the shadows, our eye is dark. Yahuwah's Torah is written on our hearts by the circumcision of Yahusha and his presence in our life. Ultimately, we reap what we reap what we sow, and we become what we store in our hearts. Life and love, or hatred and death. Yahusha is the way, the truth, and the life. He is love, and all those who know him exhibit his character, which is love. Love one another. So basically the message here is to love one another. I get these. I just want to show you what I read you. I get these from TorahZone.net. These are PDFs. You download them for free. Lou White has, it's Torah Institute. Lou White has 76 of them. I downloaded every single one of them. This is the second video I've done reading one of these, but he has some very, very good messages. And they're free. TorahZone.net. I print these out and I hand them out. I handed out Google Yahusha. I've handed out a bunch of those. He also has some cool stuff, like some t-shirts with Yahuwah's name on it, Yahuwah hats with our Father's name on it, stickers, other stuff like menorahs and things of that nature, calendars, restored calendars. But according to the will of Yahuwah Elohim, I pray that his people wake up, and I pray that somebody comes into the light every minute of every day. I truly do. Teach the truth and praise Yahuwah our Father through his Son Yahusha. Yahusha will be here soon. Shalom, everybody.